Today's video is going to blow your minds because it is going to give you that instant hit of ball striking pure goodness. So if you're a golfer whose downswing looks like this, where your arms are massively behind you, we call this a casted look to your downswing, or it's also termed as where a golfer gets stuck. From here, you are never going to be able to compress the ball. You're going to flip, scoot, shank, do everything under the sun besides hit the ball pure. But if you fix this, if you learn to get your arms across you in the downswing, if you learn to get them into that tour level lag position, that delivery position that just screams you're going to hit the ball pure, then from there, you are going to transform your ball striking. So in this video, the big key thing we're talking about is how the arms move. Now, the first thing that we need to define is something that I like to call the midline. And this is going to be our reference point throughout our whole swing. So the midline is going to be the center of the chest, down to the belly button, down to the belt buckle. So very much the center of my torso. Now, if I get set up to the golf ball just like this, you will see my right and left arm relative to my center line or my midline is essentially either side of it. So my right arm's down the trail side of it, my left arm's down the lead side of it. Now, if I turn to the top of the backswing and pause up here, what you'll notice is that my left arm has crossed this midline and my right arm has worked further away from it. So essentially, if I just do it in the most basic form possible, which is up in front of me, I have taken my arms from this position, and in the backswing, I have moved my arms around my spine to my right for a right-handed golfer. They are now offset slightly to the right of this midline. My left arm has worked across my midline, my trail arm has worked away from it. And this is the bit most amateurs get wrong, is when your arms are to the trail side of your midline, if you do not get them working back across, we call this adduction, moving towards the midline, abduction, moving it away. If you do not do that motion, you are always going to have your arms stuck behind you. You have to learn to get your arms working across you on the way down, and then you can rip your body through as hard as possible. If you look at examples like Ludvig Åberg or Charles Howell III or Rory, you will see this. They get their arms moving across their midline super fast. So the example that I'm going to use in today's video is Charles Howell III. I've got a face on and down the line view. If I now draw his midline on from the center of his chest through his belt buckle and his belly button, and then draw a line down his left arm and down his trail arm, you can see how both arms sit either side of the midline. If I now take Charles from the down the line view to the top of the backswing and I redraw those lines on. So let's start with that midline. We can obviously see it's rotated. We can see his left arm has moved across his chest right there, and his trail arm has worked across and away from that midline. So he is in a position where he has moved his arms to the right-hand side of that midline. He's worked his arms around his spine angle. Now, when we're in this position, it's really important that we understand that we now need to undo this on the way down. So if I now take Charles from this face-on video down into impact, well, let's just go a frame before impact here. So we can see he's in a great delivery position. His left arm has started to work back across that midline. It's not fully there yet, but it's started that process. And the right arm has actually worked closer to the midline than where it was at the top. You can see how his right elbow here is starting to get across the rib cage. It started that process. Now, if I take Charles one frame further down, just past impact right here on the video I have, you can see if I draw his midline on right here, how the lead arm is completely past it now, and you can see how the trail arm has continued to close up the gap. So what we can say is Charles has taken his arms from setup to the top of backswing, worked them to the right of his midline. As he's come down, he's worked them back in front of his midline. And from this down the line view, if I now take Charles all the way into the follow through, you can see here, if I redraw these lines on, here is Charles's midline, here is Charles's left arm. You can see his left arm has worked away from that midline and his right arm has eventually crossed over. So what he has done is he has moved his arms around his spine angle incredibly. So now that we've dived into that in some detail, let me actually run you through what this looks like when hitting a shot. So I'm just going to break this down into sort of two sections, getting the arms in front of me and then hitting the shot. So if I just set up here, just for demonstration purposes, if I swing to the top, obviously you can see my hands are moved to the trail side of my midline, to the right-hand side of that midline. Now in the downswing, as I'm shifting, I want to be able to pull my left arm past that midline and then away from it, and my trail arm towards that midline. If I do that really nicely, you'll see it gets me in a position like this. Butt end of the grip is relatively in line with the golf ball. I have a 9-iron right here. So that would very much be part one. There is some acceleration to the hands right here. Now from here, part two would then be activating the lever system, which is learning to release the club down. Now, if you want a video on that part, honestly, I can solve your chicken wing, I can solve your release so easily with that movement. If you want a video, comment down below. If I get enough comments, I'll make that video. So now we know the concept. Now we've actually got to go through how to train this. So what we're going to do is substitute the golf club for an alignment stick. The reason being is I like to train this one arm at a time. An alignment stick is super light, so you can swish it around your body really nicely. So if I get set up here, and again, we remember, we're looking at the midline right here. Take the alignment stick with your lead hand, place your trail hand behind your back. Now from here, I just want you to take a step back with your right foot so the toe is in line with the lead heel. Now from there, just straighten that right leg ever so slightly. Lead leg's gonna have a little bit more weight in it. The reason I do this is it stops me kicking this right side out, and it just helps me exaggerate the feeling of getting my arms across my midline and around me to the left so I can deliver that shaft lean. So here's what you're gonna do. Place your trail hand behind your back. We're gonna train the lead arm to start with. So we're gonna swing to the top, get that nice turn. Left arm for me has worked across the midline. It's worked across the midline here. Now, without feeling like you turn, because we're exaggerating this here, pull the left arm across you so the left hand is in line with the left leg as the shaft is parallel to the ground. Notice how relative to my midline, my left arm has worked back across and away from it. So it's here to there, here to there. And you will physically feel that arm start to work away. Now, how much in reality is it going to do that in the downswing? So from the top of the backswing to impact, the left arm will work about 20 degrees on average, around 20 degrees in a great golf swing. So do that a couple times, here to there. Make sure the shaft is parallel to the ground at the lead leg point when the hand's in line with the lead leg. Do that a couple times. Now from here, now we're going to rotate and we're going to feel this hand go around me to the left as if I'm trying to hold an umbrella as far away from me as possible here. So it goes to the top, 1, lead hand in line with the lead leg at shaft parallel to the ground, 2, around me to the left. You can see this creates rotation. If I do this with my right hand, checkpoint's going to be slightly different. So same to the top. Now I'm going to take my right arm and bring it to my midline. And this is where the hand is going to be basically in line with my midline right here, or the center of the stance, as the shaft's parallel to the ground. And then from here, I'll turn and exit it around me to the left, as if I'm trying to hold an umbrella away from me. So to the top, 1, 2, to the top, 1, 2. Do it in one fluid motion. Same stuff, so 1 to the top, or to the top, 1 down to this position. Left hand in line with the lead leg. That is an over exaggeration, but that's what we're doing here. Trail arms in line with the middle of my stance or my midline, and then 2 around me to the left. Now, if you're wondering if this is applicable to you, then I do online coaching on the Skillist app. I'm offering a free evaluation to any golfer out there. Just head on over there, links down below in the description. And also, if you don't want to jump into full coaching where we can actually fix this, then we can go into that there. So we can fix this within a week if you follow the right program, which I can take you through. So now we've done that with an alignment stick. Now let's bring the golf club back in. And again, I want you to actually... So now let's hit some shots doing this exercise. So I'm going to get set up here. I like to drop that trail foot back in that situation. Just gives me more space to move my arms across the body. My key thought is getting my arms at least to the midline and then eventually across my midline as I do this swing before I start to rotate. It's just a good exaggeration. Arms to and across the midline before I start to rotate. Once I get them to the midline, then I can turn as hard as I want. Let me hit you a shot here. So I'm going to really feel like I can get my arms across me. So now the final step is to bring that trail foot back. So if I get set up here, again, I'm gonna do my rehearsal swings now. I go to the top. I feel like I try and get my left and right arm to the midline, or if anything, slightly past it as I come into this delivery position. Rehearse getting my hands in front of me, my right arm's in front of me, before I feel like I start to really rotate. Once I get to this position, now I can rotate as much as I like. And if I play this back in slow motion, you'll see how much shaft lean I'm able to generate at impact because of this. So if I play that swing back in slow motion, you will see how I was able to get my arms across my body beautifully there. Now, if you want more one-to-one help, obviously check out the online coaching page, but I am doing golf schools in December in Orlando. This is a 2-day golf school purely built around impact and ball flight, so strike. It's a one-of-a-kind, never been done before golf school, and I do it with a colleague of mine, Trevor Salzman, who is a tour coach, and it is the ultimate ball striking golf school. You do not want to miss it. And like always, if you have enjoyed today's video, then please give the video a like and the channel a subscribe, and I hope to see you back here soon.